Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. It's the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination perspective will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 24th of September. The first important news, that is G4 countries call for reform in the UN Security Council. Second, Special Ambedkar Associated Tourist Circuit. Third, Odisha Nayagarh call for solutions to child marriage. We'll see the detail about this. Fourth, Industries urges revamp in the foreign trade policy. And the last is an editorial, a scheme for teachers. This particular editorial takes deep down into the PM Sri scheme, which is going to be very relevant for the education sector. Apart from the news and editorial, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based question. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a thumb button. So starting the session, that is G4 countries call for reform in the UN Security Council, something relevant for General Studies Paper 2 under the topic, that is bilateral, regional and global grouping agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So recently, the group of four, which is better known as G4, की foreign minister की meeting हुई है and they have expressed a concern regarding the continued lack of meaningful progress in the intergovernmental negotiation on the Security Council reform. This is something which is long pending. India has been demanding that the reform should be meaningful and it should be purposeful, that is actually helping the member countries. Now, G4 foreign minister meet in the margin of the opening of the 77th sessions of the United Nations General Assembly to exchange the views on reform of the United Nations Security Council. The G4 minister reiterated that the support to each other candidature as aspiring the new parliament member as a reform in the Security Council. Now, about the G4 member countries, कौन-कौन से countries हैं जो G4 के members हैं? So that include India. India is one country, followed by Japan. Other country is Germany and then Brazil. So these are the four countries that are the member of G4, which supports each other's bid for the permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. तो जो UNSC की Security Council उसमें permanent membership के लिए ये four countries ने pitch किया and they are looking forward for the expansion of United Nations Security Council. India has been vocal about this part earlier also. और जहाँ तक बात की जाए United Nations Security Council में, India is an eligible candidate to be the part of a permanent member for the United Nations Security Council. Even you can expect a question in mains examination. Mains में आपसे एक direct सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं that how far is the gravity towards India inclined in getting the seats for the United Nations permanent membership. Now, urgent need for reform. Basically, जो G4 के members हैं, जो ministers हैं, उन्होंने कहा है that there should be a reform which is essentially required, and they have assessed that the conflict surrounding the globe as well as increasing the complex and interconnected global issues have to be brought in the forefront of the urgency reform and United Nations in updating the main decision of the making bodies. Now, the urgent need for the United Nations Security Council reform in order for better reflectment geopolitical realities is to enhance the effectiveness and legitimate implementation of the decision. Now, reviewing the work for the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly, जो G4 के members countries उन्होंने कहा है that they will continue. They have seen the lack of meaningless progress that were there in the international government negotiation on security reform. The current जो meeting हो रही है, that is 77th meeting. This is the previous meeting that was already discussed about the expansion. Now, the minister expressed the disappointment over the attempt that was stalled. जो process है renewed होने की commitment की, उसको अभी भी stalled रखा गया, and a decisive measures they want that the urgency to expand should be taken in this 77th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Now, G4 minister welcomed the clear recommendations of the President's 76th General Assembly to gradually move towards a text-based negotiation, right? This process has also started, but talking about the practicality of it, the implementation has not done for many other countries. Specifically, मैं focus about the country, our country, that is India. तो इसकी मेंबरशिप को लेकर के काफ़ी ज़्यादा हर प्लेटफॉर्म पे इंडिया ने वोकलिटी दिखाई अपनी, एंड दे हैव बीन पिचिंग दैट इंडिया शुड बी अ पार्ट ऑफ द परमानेंट मेंबर काउंसिल. The G4 Minister reiterated the expansion of the Security Council in both permanent and non-permanent. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ परमानेंट में बात हुई है, जो नॉन परमानेंट मेंबर्स हैं उसमें भी इंक्रीज करने की बात की गई सीटों की, एंड टू मेक इट मोर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, लेजिटिमेट एंड इफेक्टिव. सो यूएनएससी जो है, खास करके यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल, उसको और ज़्यादा रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बनाया जाए, लेजिटिमेट बनाया जाए और इफेक्टिव बनाया जाए. Now, कॉमन अफ्रीका पोजीशन की बात की गई है. द G4 मिनिस्टर reaffirmed their strong support to the common Africa positions and emphasized that Africa need to be represented both in permanent and non-permanent categories of membership, and reformed and expanded Security Council will line with the CAP. Right? So this is what the stand for the CAP, that is the common Africa positions. Moving to the other news, that is Special Ambedkar Associated Trust Circuit. This is relevant for General Studies Paper 2 under the topic Government Policies and Intervention for the Development of Various Sectors and Issues Arising from a Design and Implementations. So during a recent National Conference of State Tourism Minister, I have discussed this news in detail. उसी के context में ये जो conference हुई थी हिमाचल प्रदेश के धर्मशाला डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, the government has planned for a tourist circuit which is known as Panch Tirth, right? And this will be associated and dedicated to the father of Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, right? So the circuit will focuses on improving the connectivity, encourage tourism, infrastructure, streamlining banding, showcasing the connections, and have a locations where Ambedkar has spent his life, जो उनके पूरी लाइफ साइकिल है, जहाँ जहाँ उन्होंने एक इम्पॉर्टेंट और अहम समय बिताया है, उन पर्टिकुलर जगह को एक तीर्थ के जैसा बनाया जाएगा. Now, National Tourism Conference saw the participations from the tourist minister. जितने भी state के tourism ministers थे, they were the participants. Governor, administrator from UT, as well as central government official were the part of the meeting. Now, the Minister of Tourism urged all the states to share their best practices to boost the sector. Now, coming to the tourist circuit, जो कि government ने basically decide किया है, they will be coming up with all the plan. So the 5 cities in India has been announced where they will be created as Panch Tirth. Pehli city है Mo, which is a birthplace of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Second is London, where he has resided and studied. Nagpur, where he has also studied. Delhi, where he passed away. And Mumbai, where he was cremated. तो ये 5 एरिया को आइडेंटिफाई किए गए, स्पॉट किए गए. This is very important for your many other competitive examination. UPSC might not ask this thing, but it is relevant for many other examinations. Now, according to the Ministry of Tourism, this site has already been visited by the Dalit as a pilgrimage spot, and the idea to craft members of public from outside the Dalit community also. Now, आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे इस समय 4 जो circuits हैं वो पहले डिसाइड हुई थी. Now the 5th one has also added. So this is for the Mo, Delhi, Mumbai, and Nagpur. Another is in London. Now, concerned, the central government announced for a special tourist circuit that has led the Dalit scholar and Ambedkars, and they have urged कि ये जो 5 पंचतीर्थ बनाए हैं गवर्नमेंट ने, they have selected it for that is not actually the real legacy, right? The government should be promoting something else. This is what the people who practice Ambedkarism and even the Dalit scholar and Ambedkarites, they have called for it, right? And they said that it has been chosen just to ensure that it is localized and nationalistic narrative of the government. So they are not pretty happy with the intent and move of the government. They want जिस तरह से promotions होनी चाहिए उस तरह से नहीं हो रही, but to a larger extent definitely if this तीर्थ has been developed 5 spots जो बनाए गए वो कहीं ना कहीं डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर के और लाइफ स्पैन को उनके बारे में समझने में लोगों को और ज़्यादा मदद करेगी. Odisha Nayagarh approach for solutions to the child marriage, something relevant for General Studies Paper 2, that is welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the states. Now, with the aim of eradicating child marriage, Odisha की एक specifically district है, छोटी district, that is Nayagarh has adopted a unique initiative for carefully recording the information of all adolescent girl in the district. इन्होंने सारी records maintain की हैं, and this record is taken with the help of Aadhaar card details, and they will track that which girl is being married on what particular age. So the birth registration date to the Aadhaar number with the family details to the skill training was provided for 48,642 adolescents girls. They were found registered in the name of the register is Aliva, right? And 100-page register maintain the record of the girl along with the name of her father. So this is a register, 100-page register, the name is Aliva. Now, Nayagarh, with the population has total of 9,62,789, has skewed sex ratio at 855, which is pretty low, right? And the child marriage in the district is still considered as a part of normal social life. Now, Aliva program की अगर बात करें, Aliva basically this is observing the child marriage and solemnized at the age between 14 to 19. और जो dropouts हैं स्कूल के बच्चे उन पे खासा इनका जोर है that they are monitoring it. और जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के साथ मिलकर इन्होंने अलाइवा प्रोग्राम भी लॉन्च किया टू हेल्प एंड ट्रैक द एडोलेसेंस गर्ल. नाउ आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर हैज बीन asked to identify the adolescent girl in their jurisdiction and keep a tab on them, right? So they need to monitor it and keep a surveillance so that the child marriage practice is not being promoted. Now there are 1,584 registered available in 158 Anganwadi centers of our districts. क्या क्या मेरिट्स हैं इस तरह के जो अलाइवा रजिस्टर्स बनाए गए हैं, उसके क्या मेरिट्स होंगे इन द लॉन्गर रन. सो दिस रजिस्टर हैज़ बीन यूजफुल फॉर लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसीज and as parents lie about the age of their girls, right? So they will able to fetch the details, the correct authentic details. The non-government organization, that is NGO, will work closely with the district administration to prevent any kind of child marriage. तो NGO का भी काफ़ी important role है इस तरह की activities में. Now the different district, through the different district, they come up with the innovation ideas where Aliva registered far more comprehensive and keep tabs on the girls alive. Now Ganjam district in Odisha, again they have maintained the same register for every child marriage to prevent the child marriages, right? तो इस तरह के जो best practices हैं वो दूसरे districts में भी implement किए जा रहे हैं. Now what is the status of child marriage in Odisha? If you look into the figure, it is pretty astonishing that 21.3% of women in Odisha aged between 20 to 24 were married before 18 years of age. And more than half of the district in Odisha have child marriage prevalence and about 20%. Roadmap for child marriage eradications. So to end the registered information about the child marriage eradication process, skill training status and health issues of adolescent girl is available. और नयागढ़ डिस्ट्रिक्ट की अगर बात करें, they have dedicated and maintained the record of a period for 10 years, that is for 2020 and 2030. As per the Odisha district marriage prevention strategy, the state aims to eradicate the marriage state, basically जो children marriage है, जो child marriage है, उनको 2030 तक खत्म करने की बात कही गई है, right? Although a dedicated efforts is essentially required from the state government to ensure that there's a full swing progress in eradication of the child marriage. Now, industries urge duty remissions revamp in the foreign trade policy, something relevant for General Studies paper 3. That is important for General Studies paper 3 topic, Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource, growth and development. So the Commerce and Industry Ministry is expected to soon unveil the national or the new foreign policy. This is foreign trade policy. जो current trade policy है that was formulated in 2015 and it is expiring on September 30, right? It was extended for 2.5 years. Extension के बाद भी अभी ये continue. Industry is hoping to concentrate measures where new foreign trade policy will give a stimulus to India's export and slowing global demand. And just to tell you, नई trade policy जो आएगी वो आपके मेंस के लिए काफ़ी ज़्यादा relevant होंगे, right? Mains, and even it can be a prelims question that can be framed from this particular policy. So make sure to keep watch on this. Whenever this policy will be launched, I'll be giving a detailed discussion on this as well. Now the demand from the industries will include an overhaul of the duty remissions. खास करके जो industries हैं उन्होंने कहा है कि पूरी तरह से overhaul करने की ज़रूरत है जो duty remission scheme है उसको, and even removal of levy on the GST on the global trade intermediaries. इसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने खास करके जितने मरीन प्रोडक्ट्स हैं उसमें डबल टैक्सेशन लगाने की बात से इनकार किया है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेड दैट द डबल टैक्सेशन शुड नॉट बी देयर. तो इस तरह के जो जीएसटीज हैं या फिर और भी किसी तरह के जो लेवीज हैं किए जाते हैं उन्हें भी रोकने की जरूरत है, सो दैट द ट्रेड शुड बी प्रमोटेड. Now, remissions of duties and taxes on the export product. The industry chamber has urged the government to consider modifying the scheme so that exporters are specifically reimbursed on the basis of actual taxes and duties paid to them on outbound shipments. And reboots of SEIS की बात की गई, the export service export from India scheme that aims to promote the export of services from India by providing duty script credit for the eligible exporters. जो eligible exporter हैं उनको इससे advantages भी मिलती थी, but under the scheme the service provider located in India would be rewarded under SEIS scheme that is eligible for the export service. Although there is a many kind of reward back which is there by the government, cashback के form में या फिर reward के form में उनको buyback मिलती है. Buyback, there is a profit that is being earned on the sale of a product which India any merchant is exporting to other countries. तो ऐसे buyback drawbacks के already norms भी हैं. The industry stakeholders have mooted a reboot in the discontinued service export incentive schemes, especially for the sectors like travel, tourism and construction. Right? तो जो constructions है ये 3 sectors ऐसे हैं जिस पे specifically ध्यान देने की जरूरत है. First is the travel, other is tourism and third is constructions. Now moving to the editorial of the day, a scheme for teachers. This is relevant for General Studies paper 2 under the topic issues related to development and management of education and human resources. So this particular editorial talks about a theme, that is a scheme called PM Shri scheme. And I'll be simplifying this editorial by 5 important subheads which include key features of the PM Shri scheme, financial support किस तरह से दी जा रही है, क्या पेडागोजी है इसको लेकर के, 3 stage selection process क्या है, the conclusion part. Now, looking into the program which was launched by the government recently, the Union Cabinet recently approved a new central sponsored scheme. The name of this scheme is PM Shri School, which stands for Prime Minister's School for Rising India. Right? So this will be a new scheme for the development of more than 14,500 schools across the country. And these schools will be strengthening the existing school being managed by the center or state government and the local bodies. So state government के अलावे basically apart from central government, state government, union territories and local bodies will also be the part of it, right? Now the PM3 school, that is the PM School for Rising India scheme, has been existent from the government school being the model school for implementation of the National Education Policy. This is National Education Policy 2020, which is expected to benefit 187 lakh students. Key features of the scheme की अगर बात करें, this scheme is providing high quality education in an equitable, inclusive and joyful environment. And this also look into the background of the student, जहाँ पे उनको multilingual needs जो है, उनके जो different academic abilities हैं, उन पे ध्यान दी जाएगी, which is aligned with the vision of the new education policy 2020, right? The PM Shri School will provide a leadership to other school irrespective of the region and providing a mentorship. तो हर एक स्कूल दूसरे स्कूल के लिए एक मॉडल स्कूल की तरह भी एक्ट करेगा. PM3 school will be developed with the green school, which will be incorporating the environment friendly aspect amenities like solar panels, LEDs, nutritional garden, natural farming, waste management, plastic free water conservation and harvesting. Now, अगर बात करें pedagogy की, they have adopted different type of pedagogy which will be focusing on the outcome of a children, right? And linkages to the sector of the skill council will also be there so that the student are trained as per the nature of the demand of the industries. तो जिस तरह से इंडस्ट्रीज में डिमांड है अकॉर्डिंगली उसी हिसाब से उनको ट्रेन किया जाए ताकि उनके जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज है उस सेक्टर में बढ़े. A quality assessment framework is also being developed for specifying the indicators to make the outcome, and quality evaluation of the school at the regular interval will be undertaken to ensure the desired status. Now, something brief about the particular scheme. This nurture the round individual equipped 21st century skill. More than 14,500 schools will be there आप इसे एज अ रिविजन के तौर पे स्क्रीनशॉट में रख सकते हैं. दिस एक्ट एज अ एग्जाम्पलर फॉर द स्कूल. For other school, it will be also acting as a role model school to showcase the component of National Education Policy 2020. Pedagogy adopted in the school will be more experimental, holistic, integrated, and a play toy based, and benefit lack of student across the country. Financial support की अगर बात करें, हर एक स्कूल को they will be getting 2 crore rupees which will be transferred directly to the school account, and the principal or the local communities will be given the flexibility to determine the use of 40% of that fund, right? So they would be deciding upon how to use that particular fund. Now, अगर पेडागॉजी की बात करें, the school will be working on a experimental basis. मैंने आपको बताया कि जिस तरह से स्किल है वो सारी बातों पे ध्यान दी जाएगी, क्वालिटी फ्रेमवर्क पे काम किया जाएगा. There will be a school quality assessment framework that will be developed, right? A quality evaluation at all interval will be taken to meet the desired standard. और जो assessment है, that will be based on the conceptual understanding and the real knowledge that is arising in the competency based, right? And focus will be there in the outcome of each and every children at every grade. It's not just a rote learning, it is more of an outcome, a experimental learning that is actually helping. तो ये पेडोलॉजी ऐसी होगी जो कि एक्सपेरिमेंटल हो, होलिस्टिक हो और इंटीग्रेटेड हो हर करिकुलम की क्लास के बच्चों के लिए. Now there's a 3-stage selection process. The school will be selected with the 3 stages. First stage is that an MOU will be signed agreeing the NEP with the center line the committees supporting the achieving target of the PM Shri school. The second stage, in this, the pool of school are eligible to select the PM Shri school that would be identified based on the minimum benchmark, that is USDIC data के मुताबिक. Or third, it is based on the challenges method for fulfilling the criteria. Only the school from the eligible pool would compete the challenges and the conditions. Now the fulfillment of the conditions would be certified by the state government through their physical inspections. So states administration की भी काफी important role होगी to monitor the entire functioning of the scheme. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is A. For second question, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for practice, आपको बताना है O Smart के बारे में. It's aims to regulate the use of ocean marine resources as sustainable development, strategic partnership agreement with IEA to promote transparency in the jute sector, liquidity risk monitoring tool for the stock market. Second is reference to international agency. The World Energy Outlook report is released by IEA annually. You have to check this. And second, India is not an associate member of India International Agency, that is International Energy Agency. So do check out for the correct option whether these are the correct statement or not. This type of question might be relevant for the upcoming prelims examination. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.